The firestorm over the Mark Foley email scandal will get voters to send the GOP packing, but Republicans are battling back to get control of the story, with the top GOP leader in the House blasting the disgraced congressman and demanding a federal investigation. So how is this going to play at the polls? Brad Blakeman is a former assistant to President Bush, and Peter Rundlet was an associate counsel in the Clinton White House. Gentlemen, good to have you both today.
Thank you, Contessa.
So House Speaker Dennis Hastert sent a letter to Attorney General Alberto Gonzales urging him to investigate on two fronts, whether Foley broke a law with his interstate communications and whether anyone else knew about these explicit emails and then just didn't report them at this point. What do you think, Peter? Is this just a move to save his hide?
It certainly seems that way to me. I think that some serious questions need to be asked, and they need to be answered, and they need to be answered on a short time frame.
What do you think, Brad?
I think that's exactly what the Speaker has done. He has asked the FBI for a broad investigation. It's not limited to anybody with knowledge, and that's exactly the right thing to do. But let me caution the Democrats, don't be holier than thou, Peter, and with your party, because your history has been with the Democrats with these type of allegations against congressmen to reelect them. Jerry Studs admitted having sexual relations with a male page who was underage. You reelected him. Barney Frank admitted having sexual relations and basically running a male prostitution ring out of his home. Reelected, sitting congressman. And of course the famous story of President Clinton, who took advantage of an intern in the White House. And what did you do with him? When we asked that those allegations be brought to light, the Democrats said the Republicans are picking on him. This shouldn't be about Republicans and Democrats bickering. What it should be is about justice being done, and the Republicans got rid of this guy.
Brad, you bring up some history here from past decades. Let's not forget about Bob Packwood and Dan Crane as well.
Absolutely, sure.
Go ahead, Peter.
It sounds, based on those comments, that we think that this guy should get the Presidential Medal of Freedom or something, like some of our other national security
Peter, what we did was
people
we got rid of him. We didn't reelect him. He's
none
gone.
of those situations that I'm aware of, did the leadership know what was going on and decide to cover it up?
All right.
Well, do you think these guys volunteered what they were doing? No, they were caught.
Let's find out. Representative Thomas Reynolds, who was the one who originally went to Dennis Hastert and said, we have a problem here. Reynolds is a New York congressman. He sits on the National Republican Congressional Committee. So his job is getting Republicans reelected. Brad, at this point, if the news organizations hadn't publicized these emails, would Mark Foley still have access to his congressional email now?
Well, first of all, Contessa, there were two sets of emails. There was one that was overly friendly, and then there was a second set of emails that was explicit.
Overly friendly
but the overly friendly email, which, as I understand it, Congress was aware of, they approached the congressman. They told him to cease and desist with that type of emailing to a page. Number one. Number two is, as I understand it, they approached the parents of this child, and the parents said they don't want any further action taken. Now, the question is going to be asked, and we're going to wait the answers as to what exactly Congress knew and when they knew it. And I have to believe that they did not know about the second set of emails, were the explicit emails, but either way, this guy should go, and that's exactly what happened. He's gone.
It seems to me that we just have this book coming out called State of Denial. It looks like Bob Woodward could write another book called State of Denial. And I think it's important to put this in the broader context of the kind of honesty we're getting from the administration and from our congressional leadership. Here we have this issue with Congressman Foley. We'll get the answers to about what the leadership knew, and hopefully they'll be held accountable. The people are going to come to the polls in a few weeks, as you mentioned, Contessa, and I think they need to be held accountable, not only for the failures here in this personal situation, and it is a scandal, by the way, but it's also a scandal what's taken place in Iraq and what's happened with our military forces, our military readiness. And we learn now from this book, State of Denial, that Condoleezza Rice met with George Tenet.
And we're actually going to talk a little bit more about the book State of Denial coming up, Peter, so I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Peter Rundlet, Brad Blakeman, thank you guys.
Thank you, Contessa.
So, and again, coming up, we're going to talk about Bob Woodward's new book, State of Denial. Back with those two guys in just a minute. Still ahead on MSNBC, a city council member in South Carolina has an unusual idea